So up until this point, we have only graphed hyperbolas that are centered at the origin. We're now going to start shifting that. We can still tell if the transverse axis is parallel to the x or to the y by what comes first. So it is parallel to the x-axis if your x comes first. Let me change colors. It will be parallel, go yellow. It'll be parallel to the y-axis if y is first. Okay, or positive. X is positive, y is positive. Now, one thing I want you to really be careful on are these centers here. When it is parallel to the x, you have center at HK, so it is still H, comma K, and remember inside opposite. So minus H means a positive H, minus K means a positive K. When you go parallel to the y-axis, your center doesn't change. It is still H, comma K, but notice because my y is first, mine is out of order. So the center is still at HK, but now you have to go over here to the H and then back to the K. So be careful there. Then, I guess we'll go another color. Your vertices kind of change a little bit. Your foci kind of changes a little bit, so use the right formulas. Your asymptotes are almost identical, except for the slope right here. When it's parallel to the x, your slope is plus or minus b over a. When it's parallel to the y, your slope is plus or minus a over b. So those are going to change. Now, sometimes on your homework, it will actually want the entire formula, and this isn't that bad. We've already been plugging in for a and b, and now you're just plugging in your k for your center and your h also coming from the center. So it's still not that bad to do. But other times it only wants the slope. And so the slope is that plus or minus b over a or plus or minus a over b. And then as a reminder, your a squared is always first, which we can see right here. And we're using this version of our formula like we did in the past two videos. I would highly recommend trying to use this right here, and honestly without the highlighted portions, in the back of your spiral and the extra sections, and try using only this formula sheet when you're doing your homework. You're going to be given this formula sheet, and so practice what you're going to be given on the test, specifically if you're taking this class on campus. Okay, so let's try applying this. Plot these as we go. Find the equation of the hyperbola with a center at -1, 2. One focus at -1, 2, 3, 4, 2. And a vertex at -3, 2. Okay, so 3 points. Let's find that equation. So first off, we have to start by what is that transverse axis? And our transverse axis is going to be parallel to the what axis here? Well, because these are all in a line parallel to that x, it's got to be the x-axis. So that tells me that I am using, because this is parallel to the x, we're going to be using this formula right here. So we have x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. So I need to find my a, b, and c. Okay, which two of these do I have? The distance from center to vertice is 2, and that's my a. And the center from this the distance from the center to the focus is my C, and that's 3. So now let's find B so I can plug that in here. So my formula is a formula. What is it? It's B squared equals C squared minus A squared. Don't know B squared. C squared's 9 and B squared's 4. So my B squared is 5. So I am going to substitute in 5 for my B squared. I have A squared. So now all I need is my H and my K. Well, it tells me my center is at -1, 2. So here is H. Here is K. So we have everything we need. We have X minus H minus the -1 becomes +1 over A squared, which is 4, minus Y minus K, which is 2, all over B squared, which we found down here to be 5. And that's equals 1. So there's my equation. So now let's graph. From my center, I have 2 units over as my vertex. I'm going to go 2 units over for my second one. 3 units is my focus. I'm going to go 3 units over for my second foci. And then use this B right here to make my box. We need to take the square root of both sides. Square root 5 is a prime number, so it will stay square root 5. Ooh, and square root 5 is about 2.2. So from the center, I'm going to go up 2 and a little extra for my B, and down 2 and a little extra for my B. So making my box go between your B's and your V's. We have a little box. And we'll go corner to corner through the center. And go the opposite direction. Okay, there's my 2 asymptotes. And there's 1/2. And my other half. So there is my graph. Really just those blue lines, not really those anything in red. Now, before I stop this video, it doesn't ask for the asymptote, but let's just get some practice here. So a little bonus down here. My asymptotes. Because we're parallel to the X, I want things on this column here. So I'm using this version of my asymptote. So I have Y minus K equals plus or minus B over A X minus H. So we have Y minus K coming up here. K was 2 equals plus or minus B, which is square root 5 over A of 2. And then X minus H. My H is a -1. So minus the negative becomes +1. You don't need to do anything else. It's just, can you substitute your A, B, H, and K into this? Now, if it wanted just the slope, what would the slope be? So black, my slope right here would just be this plus or minus square root 5 over 2. So I want to adjust the slope, there's my slope. Which if we look at my graph, that makes sense. We rose square root 5, which is that 2.2, and then ran 3.